Hi everyone, this is Ronnie from the UK Fruit Fest, and in this video I'll be talking about intuitive eating and the raw food diet. And I'm doing this as part of it's been written about in the Raw Vegan Myths Debunked book that I came out with recently, and that's available now exclusively as part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, which is a bundle of 40 different ebooks and courses put together by about 36 different authors and contributors from the raw vegan movement. If that sounds like something that might be of interest to you, you can click on the link below to get access to that. So intuitive eating. A lot of people like the idea that they can eat intuitively, and especially when they come to a raw food diet, which they see as the most natural foods for us, they like the idea that they can use their intuition, tap into their body, feel into their body, and work out what's right for them. And a lot of people will often say things like, my body knows what's best for me, I know what's best for me, and no one can tell you what you should eat, you need to figure it out for yourself. I even remember at the end of a raw food event once, at the very end of the festival, this lady who was just the compere of the event, wasn't one of the experts, wasn't one of the speakers, she was a compere. And at the end she said, now just remember, whatever you've learned this week, it's all about you figuring out what's right for you and what's right for your body. She just completely dismissed all of the information that had been shared and learned that week. It was a terrible comment. And, it's just not, it's not true. It's really bad advice to tell people, listen to your body. A lot of people don't even make good decisions in any part of their life for themselves. The idea that intuitively people make good decisions for themselves is in itself a questionable idea. It's funny because if I ask people about arranged marriage, what do you think about arranged marriage? And they say terrible. That would have been terrible for me. My parents would have picked someone bad. I would have, I can pick someone better for me. I know what I want. And funny thing about that is most people choose pretty badly when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. Like the amount of people that choose really bad partners for them, people that are really bad for them, people that aren't right for them, people do that all the time. People choose bad careers, jobs they don't like, and careers they aren't very good at or they're not really aligned with. People make terrible choices for themselves all the time. So the idea that you're going to know what food to eat intuitively, when even the idea that people make good decisions for themselves is kind of a questionable idea, is not a very clear thing. But it is something that intuitively feels right in terms of the raw food. Our body should be able to think. And some people suggest that the body develops a kind of internal subconscious database, and it can lead you towards, if you have a real desire for cucumbers, that means there's something in those cucumbers you need. I don't believe in any of that. And there's no evidence for any of that. There's no evidence for that at all. But people have cravings for certain things. Pregnant women get different cravings. They often suggest that. People in certain situations, the body seems to be looking towards. And so in some general sense, people have a sense of like, these foods I'm not feeling so good with these foods. But is that intuition or is that just your personal experience? If you eat dairy products over and over and you have a bad reaction, is it intuition that says, I don't think I should eat those? Or is it very obvious reaction to those foods that you're eventually seeing the pattern of? So it can help to some degree like that. But intuition does not help people do the raw food diet. It generally doesn't lead people towards the raw food diet. It doesn't lead people to do the raw food diet well. People usually undereat on the raw food diet, don't eat enough, and they can't even tell that they're not eating enough. That's how unintuitive and how unintuitive people are when it comes to food. When it comes to scientific research on these kind of things, classically, famously, people do not track the amount of food that they eat accurately. So people aren't very good at even tracking accurately the food they eat. They're not very honest when they're asked what foods they eat. They don't have a good even ability to remember what they actually accurately ate. And often these things are very inaccurate because of people not being honest about what they're eating and their various biases that cause a problem there. So it would appear that people don't have a good intuition. People are very unhealthy. Like the idea that people can eat intuitively, well, most people eat spectacularly unhealthy diets. People that are overweight, I mean, the fact that people get overweight is evidence against it for a start, but people get overweight and they don't know how to lose weight. They don't know the amount to eat. They try and lose weight, they end up putting up more weight sometimes. Like there's such a lack of intuition towards eating. So why is it not working? Well, to me, the reason that we should be, all of our internal instincts should be leading us towards health. The reason that they're not is because of the environment. The environment around us is wrong. And many animals will prefer cooked foods and processed foods if you give them the choice. You know, there's an idea that animals have a great intuition for what's healthy. Not really. They'll eat junk foods as well if they're presenting. You know, primates will eat junk foods. They'll eat the human foods, the stuff that people eat generally. They'll have lasagna or whatever. Of course they'll have that. Of course they'll like the taste of that. But it's really not good for them. It's not good for us. But they will eat it. It's tasty, it's flavorful, it's full of calories. You know, we're driven towards that. The difference is that their environment is so conducive towards them eating fruits and vegetables. Why? Because what are the other choices? The other choices are really bad in comparison. You don't have lasagna and pizza and all that stuff. You don't have any of that stuff available to them. So what are you going to have? Snails, rocks, mud, tree bark, like insects, or durian. Like in that situation, it's so obvious what you're going to eat. So in the perfect environment, the best choice becomes so effortless. It's become so easy to eat healthy. All aspects of our lifestyle become healthier. Everything becomes easier in a better environment. Like if you're living in a beautiful location, it's really easy to get out in nature. It's easy to be out, you know, get sunlight in a beautiful, warm location. It's easy to go out into nature and experience the peace of nature because it's so beautiful and so natural and so nearby when you're in the perfect kind of location like that. So, you know, the idea that we have an intuition, it only works if we're in the perfect environment. But if you put us in an environment, junk food, of constantly being stimulated with advertising to eat more junk food, of a whole culture that tells people to do that, where everyone's perpetuating that idea, then of course we're going to make the wrong choices. And cravings are really just our addiction towards eating some of these foods, these highly stimulating foods. I've written about this more in the book. If you want to pick that up, it's called Raw Vegan Myths Debunked. It's part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, and you can check that out. Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. But I'll put the link below, and you can go and click on that and check that out. So thank you very much for watching. Feel free to put any comments below, share the video if you like, and we'll see you in another video.